What's going on, my Taurians? Welcome to your May creative forecast. Thank you for joining me. So May is a big month. We have a ton of things happening. There are going to be some energies to surf, a little bit of things for everybody. So we have a lot of Mars energy. We also have, there's a lot of, there's Mercury retrograde happening. I'm laughing because of the morning that I've had already. I'm like, it's not even, the Mercury retrograde is nowhere near, and it's already like, whoa. So, this is, you may see that this is changed up slightly. I just had to use picnic table cover because I spilled coffee all over my wonderful Galaxy pad that I do my tarot on, so that was different. But I shared my coffee with it because it was just so nice. So that's cleaning and drying and cleaned. But the Mercury retrograde happens around on or about the 16th. The Scorpio full moon happens on the 16th. In addition to all of this Mars energy that's active, we also have, my dear Taurians, we're in Pluto retrograde that happened on the 29th of April. And in addition to that, because there's more, it is eclipse season. And not more as in like dun dun dun. This is really just great energy to work with. There's a lot of activated energy. And when this happens, it means that there's something that we can do with it, right? When there's this much energy moving and things like that, it means that we have the capacity to work with it. So how are we working with it, right? That's the real story here, not there's no need for fear or anything along those lines, my dear Taurians. So with that being said, let's dive in, shall we? So I would like to invite my angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay. I'm kicking things off with the Journey of Love Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Spirit, can I get some messages for Taurus, please, for their May creative forecast? 3, 2, 1. Shifting universes. The choice. Heaven. Wow. Whoa, Taurus. Do you feel this? If you do not have Taurus in your north node or anything along those lines, Taurus energy can still be activated with these eclipse energies. And I feel, Taurus, like this is a lot of things that are shifting. So let me just do this so you can see the cards without reflection here. So how are you taking care of yourself, Taurus? Are you grounding? I feel like there's a need to ground. To ground the energy. It's warming up a little bit in the northern hemisphere. I'm in southern Ontario in Canada, so you can walk on the grass barefoot. You can meet with the earth in different ways as temperatures warm. Although they do seem to be clinging to the near freezing mark lately, but I'm getting that there's some choices here for you, Taurus. There's choices. I'm almost feeling like there's some anxiety about which one will be the right one. Which one will be the right one? Like you don't want to make the choice that's going to leave you out in the cold. And I don't think you even know what the choices are that are going to arrive, but you already feel this sense of, am I up to the task a bit? And I feel like, yes, you are. You are indeed. You are, Taurus. Just going to put that out there for you right now. You are. I'm tempted to, so I read from one of these. I was inspired to do that from another reader on YouTube. But I'm just getting this. I want to read the choice card because this is showing up as sort of the obstacle. So I want to inform you, but I also want to read this heaven card. Look at this. That's beautiful. Maybe I'll read it. I'll read it towards the end of the reading. How about that? We'll start off. So 444 was just on the time. So as I showed the heaven card, that's wild. I didn't even see that. So there's something about angelic protection here for you. I'm getting Taurus. So you have guides and guardians with you. I'm getting guardians specifically. It's not about making the wrong choice. It's about understanding that things are changing and that you're leaning into the change, right? Yeah. So the choice 62. Let's see here. There is a choice so there is a choice that you need to make. You are aware of it already, or it is coming to your awareness very soon. Embrace the unknown and say yes. You have the opportunity to enrich your world, to receive, and therefore to be able to share more love. To be able to share much more. I don't know where love came in. To be able to share much more. Oh, that's wild, Taurus. Maybe love. If anxiety or fear arises, guilt or shame, treat it as the cleansing of your emotional waters as they receive so much more inflow from the divine ocean. Let the old layers rise to the surface of your awareness to be washed away. What seems to be so much in the context of your own emotional waters is not so much at all when compared to what the great ocean is capable of holding. So let the divine ocean take the old, washing it away from you and replenishing you with the new, that you may serve life all the better. This oracle brings you guidance. It is safe to choose now. There is no wrong choice, just a choice that resonates with your heart. Oh, Taurus, I'm a smush for this. Oh, I'm here for this. If it is challenging you, that is an opportunity for you to let the divine cleanse and lift you into the vibration where you feel at peace with your choice, where you can accept the grace it will bring to you. Do this now. It's your time to step up, make your life easier on yourself, and open to love in a more trusting way. Come now. The divine is calling you to play. Wow. Taurus. I knew there's a lot of choosing energy, but there's like anxiety and fear. I got that because this almost feels like bits and pieces thrown together. This looks the way a box of Lego would sound being shaken up. Sensory things and like synesthesia for the win, right? But this looks the way that a shaking of a Lego box would sound. And I feel like that's where you're at right now. You're trying to make sense of all of these pieces and put it all together. Let's pull some tarot and see what we got here, Taurus. First, let me readjust because my foot's asleep. Oh. Alrighty. Spirit, what messages do you have for Taurus on this 3-1 card? Now, this could be 3-2-1, as in like 3 numbered, 2-1, like 3 numerical, 2 numerical, 1 numerical, but 3-1 is almost like this creation of something new. Like there's 3 energies, not necessarily 3 people. It could be 3 people. I don't like, that doesn't feel right to me, the idea of choice in terms of like, because that's like player energy and I don't want that anywhere near my readings. What I get though from this, I mean, like I know it exists and I can't be like, I don't want to look at it, so I won't. But this to me is more about you having 3 different choices of pathway ahead. And you're choosing the one. I see this faint heart. Interesting. I've never seen that before, but there's like a very faint heart. Do you see that, Taurus? And it's like you're choosing your heart, and that's the one path that is I just heard the poem by Robert Frost, the road less traveled, or the path less traveled. That's a book by Scott Peck, I know, but there's something about the path in the woods diverged, and I took the one less traveled, something along those lines. I think it's Robert Frost. I can't remember. But there's like one that is maybe not traversed. Maybe it's one that that doesn't have like, there's a sense of trying something new with it, Taurus, which feels unfamiliar. Like it might just be an unfamiliarity that you have with this particular path. This could be as simple. This doesn't have to be huge energies. This could be as simple as going on a date with, you have 3 different people you could go on a date with, and there's one person in particular who you choose to do that with. Oh, hey. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at this one. This is, no, but like this 10 of Pentacles. Yeah. It's like that essence of starting something new, but there's like this giddiness to it. Even if this is a project, this is like the start of something new for you, Taurus. The Hierophant. There, you're right in your power. You're right in your energy. I'm getting that something is going to feel like home about one of the paths. Something is going to feel like home. Someone, the Magician. 8 of Swords. Five of Wands. Knight of Cups on the bottom. So we have the Hierophant, the Magician, the 8 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups. I get that there's stuff that has made manifestations a little convoluted for you, or manifesting convoluted. Like it's like when you go to communicate your desires to the universe, Mercury energy, when you go to communicate that, it almost has to go through the filter of like, ooh, like all of the, I'm just going to syllable at you. It's fine. All of these different like worries and concerns, but will it achieve this? How will I fit this in here? What is this going to do for me? What will they think? How is this going to align with work? Ooh, is this going to affect me financially? All of these concerns and worries that it first has to get through. And then it's almost like you have to get the approval of other people as this manifestation comes in, Taurus. And it's not like you need to get the approval, but you're so excited to share. And this is how people treat your excitement about sharing. So it's like they kind of crush it before it can really take flight. And I think this is you being more honest with yourself about the way that this is the way that you've done things like this in the past. Like this is tradition to you, right? Like it's like you couldn't just have an idea, this Magician energy here, and bring it to the fore. What you had to do first was, filter it through the entire system, and everybody, it's almost like everyone gathered around the table and had a few drinks, and they got to talk it over and mull it over like it's this high stakes negotiation, when it's really just your life and the decisions that you're making for you. And I think this is you having a more heartfelt approach and heart-centered approach for yourself on things that you're moving forward on. And I think that this energy is you in forward motion. Much more heart-based decisions that you're making right now, Taurus. Much more heart-based decisions. And again, like you're showing up in your power. You're showing up in your power here, which is not only good for the energy of the reading, like it tells me that there's a strength that you possess right now. I think that this is the core thing that you've been working through, is feeling like other people have to be on board with your decision, especially if it's one that is like new or, I'm one of the first people that went to, that got a university degree in my immediate family. And on my mom's side, it's the first person to get a university degree, let alone a graduate degree. And that's not to be like, I'm so important, because that's not what this is about. What this is about is that it can feel really uncomfortable. Like people thought I was crazy for doing it. They thought I was out of my tree. But I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to be doing this for the next 2 years. And, it's covered. It was, financed by the school. So it wasn't really at a cost to me. There was a stipend provided. Like it was the right decision. And it made no sense to some people, but to me, it made all the sense in the world. And I didn't do it just because it was like, oh, I want to be the first of something. Like, it's not like that. Like, trust me, when you're queer and then you come out as trans, that's enough first for a lifetime. Like, you don't need the other stuff. But it's like, this was more so, it's like there's something that you've never done before, or like you're the first to do something in your family or in your friend group. So it's like you're feeling like you have to almost not justify, but like there's like an explanation that you feel like you have to offer people that you really don't. You just don't. One of the cards came out here. So shifting universes, 7 of Pentacles. I'm going to put these back and shuffle them. Okay. Ace of Pentacles on the bottom. Spirit, can you clarify this for me, please? Out of all of your hard work, there's one seed that you planted in particular that's coming to fruition, and I feel like it is going to be quite a transformative experience. For some reason, Pluto is really loud on this card. Pluto feels very loud, oh my goodness, on that card in particular. Taurus. 10 of Swords. Yeah. There's one seed that you planted that is like birthing a whole host of other things for you. But you have to, there was a letting go that you've been doing. There's a letting go that you've been doing. Yeah, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, absolutely. This card wants to come out. King of Cups. It's almost like you go from the Knight of Cups to the King of Cups in terms of your understanding and your self-awareness and your capacity to embrace others as you've embraced yourself. Taurus, this is really beautiful. I'm really curious about this choice. So this is sort of the story up to this point. And I think one of the bigger blocks that you've experienced has been knowing what to put down and what's safe to put down, what you need to leave behind. 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. Spirit, can I get some clarification on this choice? What choice is it that my Taurians are making this month? What choice are we making? 5 of Pentacles. Looking up as opposed to around at different things. In some ways, there's like a waiting period that we've had to do, Taurus. Like I'm getting this, like in this waiting period between the choice, there's not much happening. So it's very easy to slip into this 5 of Pentacles and be like, well, there's not much happening. And, you know, I know that there's a choice coming. I know I have to make this choice. And this is almost like procrastination. But when I was, when I was in grad school and before, I can't remember where I heard this, but it was years ago I heard this procrastination, where you kind of screw yourself by procrastinating. It's very lewd and rude. It's fine. It's okay. We're all adults. So with this, it's almost like that. Like there's something you're putting off and it's really, you understand that it's not in your best interest. And I don't know why I'm getting like a putting off energy, because I'm feeling like you could look up at the opportunities around you, but instead you're focused down on the ground because there's a church here, there's a door, probably somewhere in over here or over here in the bigger picture of this, right? In the bigger picture of this. So what's actually happening is there's something that you're procrastinating on seeing because it's like this is somehow more comfortable for you. This is like comfort zone energy. And I feel like the eclipse is going ping and like knocking you out of it, right? So Taurus, there's something like that I'm getting off of this card. All that for the 5 of Pentacles. I know, but that's what I'm feeling like you're doing right now. That's what I feel like you're doing. But I feel like once that choice arrives, it's like I'm getting King of Swords energy almost. Like King of Swords, Queen of Swords, just swords energy of like, it's just clear. Like it's just clear. And then you're like moving on. Yeah. King of Swords just popped out after I shuffled. I was like, I feel him coming. I feel his arrival on the table, on the deck, in the deck. Yeah, so it's like once this clarity arrives, it's like you'll know exactly what to do next. And that will be this ultimate guidance. What's this choice though, Spirit? Can you please clarify any specifics of this choice or aspects of this choice that we need to consider? Whatever it is that you're choosing, do not, Taurus, do not choose from a place of past hurts and heartbreaks. Do not. Oh my gosh. Because with the 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords, that is making so much more sense now. And I feel like this has been the block because you're trying to carry how many? So there's 3 here. So there could be 3 or more major heartbreaks that you've had, disappointments. It could be with work, could be with projects, could be with friends or family, different interactions. But it's like, and the swords, I'm counting the swords here and convert that to 1. So that's like 3, so 3, 6, 9. And then the ace is you holding your own. So it's like there's maybe 3 major heartbreaks or 3 major events or situations that have happened that are clouding your vision here about what to choose and what path to choose. But when we choose from a place of I want to avoid this, what we're actually doing, Taurus, is creating the exact thing that we don't want because we're not envisioning something more for ourselves. It's not even about like, oh, the law of attraction says blah blah blah. This is about, and this is entirely about when we see things that are we see more heartbreak than we see opportunity. And sometimes we have to grieve, and it's okay. Let yourself grieve. But remember that you don't need to stay there. That's very important. Very important. Because you can't change what happened, right? Forgiveness is just the reconciliation of what happened with the fact that nothing can be changed. So you're moving onwards from that place, having compassion for yourself, the situation, what happened, the other person, whatever it is. But try not, or I mean, I don't want to say don't do this, but I mean, I'm an Aquarian, right? We're fixed signs. I get it. You tell us to do something, we're gonna fucking do it. Like, right? You have to make us think it's our idea. No, I'm kidding. That's the low vibe version of Aquarius and Taurus. I'm just kidding with you, Taurus. But right, I get there's like a stubborn energy. I understand it. But it's like this Three of Swords energy. Don't manifest from this place because it's going to make the choice seem smaller. Your options are going to go from like expanded wheel Jupiter energy, woohoo, like wee, and then it's just going to go like the sound of a balloon deflating. I'm not going to try and make that sound. I appreciate your eardrums too much to try it. But it's like it's going to shrink the opportunities. So all you're left with is this like deflated balloon where you're like, oh, okay, well, that was it felt better than it looks. Like, right? Like when it was a balloon, it was so great. It was expanded. It was fantastic. It was floaty. It was wonderful. And now it's just flat. That's what manifesting from this place can do. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for Taurus to clarify this choice? How can we choose in our highest and best good here? How can Taurus choose in their highest and best good? Four of Pentacles. Knowing what's most important and focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. King of Pentacles, yeah. I think things are coming together, but you need to focus on what's most important and what's within your control, right? This is about, why do we cling to the Four Pentacles? Because we want to control things, right? There's this controlling aspect, and it's not about being a controlling jerk. This is about knowing what's in your power and what's not, and working with what's in your power and what's not. Can you change the fact that people might have hurt you in the past? No. Could you have seen it coming? Maybe, but you didn't, so why are we beating ourselves up over it, right? Can't control this. Can't control this. What can we control? The clarity that we have and the vibration that we sit in at any moment that affects the clarity that we have about situations, opportunities, and people. So what then? What then? Four of Pentacles is focusing on what is within our control and in our power, and that brings about a sense of value. That brings about a sense of what's most important to us. And that allows what is most important to us to become obvious to us, right? We go from clinging to Four Pentacles to having one because we understand we've made the choice and we value the choice. 2-2-2-2 on the time. We understand the choice and we value the choice. So there's this sense of clinging to four to having an overflow. But there's one thing that's most important to you, Taurus, about this choice. There's one thing, it's going to be very obvious to you. And that is probably coming from your heart space, right? What's most important to you? What's most important to you? Listen to that voice. Heaven, we have Three of Pentacles. Five of Cups. Two of Cups. Moon. Taurus, what I'm seeing here, I'm almost getting that there's like, you've moved through some disappointing circumstances and situations and you're building back from experience, not scratch. Three of Pentacles, Five of Cups. I think this heaven card is really informed by a lot of heart space. So this is possibly a need to sink into your heart space more, to do some heart healing, heart chakra work, grounding that will help this, right? That will help activate or center or stabilize the first, so the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakra. So making sure that we're tending to the energies in each of these centers first. And then I think what that's going to allow for is for things that aren't really obvious to you about this choice to become more obvious, to become less hidden, right? So this is about things becoming clear. And oh, that's funny. The High Priestess was on the bottom. So this is a very intuitive knowing, especially with the moon there. And then the World card came out on top of that. So this to me is very, very, it's hard for you to wrap around because it's so intuitive. It's such an intuitive process, and I get that. Like there are times where like I'll feel things shifting and coming before I actually know that they are, right? I'll have impulses to go places and I'm like, I don't understand why I want to go here on this day. And then I'll find something in that place that I needed, that I either didn't realize I needed, but needed and had set aside, like outside of my consciousness, because I want to free up space. So I'll write it down somewhere and I'll be like, yes, I need to know by X, Y, and Z time. Frees up mental space, right? But it's like there's some way that you're being led. And Saturn to me is, this is also Taurus energy with the fixed sign. So Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. So you double check those signs if you have them in your chart anywhere. So Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or potentially even Saturn. And just understanding that there's some way that something that you're processing or working through is it's going to show up. I just heard presenting itself beyond the veil in your intuition, whatever that means. 2626 all the time. So the World card here, this is like the Saturnian energy that is it. I feel like it's usually associated with like lessons that are beyond our control. Like, people say karmic lessons, but karma is, it's like, sometimes it's like gifts that we are bestowed that we haven't fully developed or we're not using yet, or using in a way that we're meant to. It's, this is sort of the culmination of like, it's cause and effect, but it's also the coming together of all of the things that we can control, the things that we can't, and the decisions that we make about all of those things. So this is almost like the coming together of, and the fruition, the arrival of choices that you now have, because you've really done some work on, what can you control, what can't you control, and looking at things that you can control and assessing what needs to be done in a sort of, it's just a disciplined way of approaching your life and creating a stable foundation for yourself. And it's, I feel like there's like a foundation that you're building here, Three of Pentacles. I almost get, though, that there's this like deviation from what you used to think of as like a high maintenance way of being on the spiritual path. And you're uncovering that it's really simple. It's really deceptively simple if you want to be on the path. And I get that there's something about your intuition that is opening up to you. Interesting. Something about your intuition that's opening up to you. I'm just almost getting this as you being in conversation with and in an exchange with your intuition. Just the way that you're, it's almost like your third eye is talking to you and you're listening, right? You're meeting your third eye with an empty cup, and then you fill that cup, and then you exchange between the two, right? There's an even exchange happening between you and your intuition because of the moon and the High Priestess here. Alternatively, like this is almost like flip side. So that's like the 5D, what's going on here. And then that's related to Saturn, but Saturn is sort of like overarching all of this. So that's like the 5D version of this. Then, the 3D version of this is that relationships have traditionally taken a lot of work, and you feel like it's like kept you from this heavenly experience of love. But I find that what's happening here is that you're understanding that just because like it's relationships too are very simple. When we're with the right people, when we're with people who are compatible with us, who are interested in the things that we're interested in, who value similar things, who want long-term committed monogamous relationships or non-monogamous, if that's your thing. Like if you are someone who's polyamorous, don't let that disqualify you from this reading. What I'm saying here is that there's something about the compatibility and exchange between you and your higher self and your third eye. I'm hearing crown and eighth as well in terms of chakras, but like this is also you meeting someone on the path that you can't see it right now. Two of Cups, Moon, High Priestess, World. This is you coming across a soulmate in particular that you can't see, but you can feel coming. But there's this, because of the Saturn work that you've done, things you can control, things you can't control, those two things coming together in the choices that you make for yourself in your life. How much responsibility are you taking for the things you can control? How much responsibility are you taking? Are you taking too much responsibility for the things you can't? And is that screwing with what you can control? Is that screwing with your capacity to hear intuitive messages for you because of these different pathways? So the World card here to me is speaking on the ways that we've chosen to integrate lessons about these two things, the things we can and can't control. That's very interesting, Taurus. I'm not sure why that's coming through. I mean, with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, it's certainly there. But wow. Okay. So yeah. So I feel like there's some kind of fate though. There's some kind of fate at play here. I mean, soulmate energy tends to be, right? Like we don't come across soulmates unless there's some kind of destiny at work. But I feel like there's a choice that you are making, and it's going to be clear because it's going to be one that relates to your heart. And it's funny, I'm hearing Taurus, what? I'm hearing that it hits you in the pentacle, not like in the pocketbook. It hits you in what's most important. Like it's like you'll recognize it not because of how much work it takes, but because of how things flow, and it feels abundant. It feels like abundance because it's not the absence of restriction, but it's the presence of flow. And that's something I feel like may be really important to you, just with all of the imagery of like waves and things like that I'm getting off of this. It's the presence of flow. And maybe you felt a little bit like there's certain things you can't control, right? There's certain things you can't control. Like when we plant, we can't control the weather. We can't control, I, during the pandemic, I worked on a farm for a little bit. And like, there are certain things we can and can't control, right? We can't control the weather. We can't control an early frost that might spoil a pumpkin, like a pumpkin crop. We can't control a late frost that might spoil a strawberry crop. We can't control aphids. We can't control certain pests or downpours or, even downbursts or weather that might do the same. But like there's one or two things that are most important that inform what we can control. And Taurus, you're really leaning into that energy. And I think that's part of the shift is you're recognizing these things and you're not blaming yourself or beating yourself up anymore. No more Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles. And I think that it's sort of unlocking this heaven you didn't realize that you had within you, number one, but like that was possible for things that you had in your life in terms of relationships, people, experiences, opportunities, all of these things. Like there's like a heaven in them now. Instead of saying, what the hell, you're more like, oh, wow, heaven, right? Like it's like this shift in the way that you're seeing things. I'm going to pull the Secret Language of Light cards here for you, Taurus. Spirit, can you please give me some messages for Taurus for this creative forecast for May? Soul mating. Yeah, this is, I'm definitely getting this as coming in to inform that soul card, the soulmate card. At a 5D level, it's about, what's happening, 5D wise is your soul is talking to you through your energy centers at a 3D level. This is you welcoming in a relationship that mirrors the energy flowing within you. So that's really important to remember, Taurus, that there's something about, this is coming to you. It's coming to you because because you've done the work. Like the Saturn, the world is here to be like, yeah, hey, I'm laying on the doorbell now, because I don't have to convince you or compel you. There need not be this argument made for something. I don't have to make a PowerPoint presentation about the importance of these things, because you're doing them, Taurus. You're doing the energy work. You're doing the letting go. You're doing the prioritizing. It's a slow process though. So just give yourself some time and have compassion for yourself and the time that it's taking for these things to show up in the 3D, because energetically speaking, I feel like it is happening. This stuff is changing and shifting for sure. Let your light shine. Yeah. I think Leo got that as well. Let your light shine. And I kind of wanted to put that on this one. And it just intuitively, I place them wherever it resonates. And I feel like letting your light shine, where we release these burdens, I think it's like, I'm hearing the Leonard Cohen poem that like the cracks are where the light gets through. And I think that that's something really important for you to remember in this beautiful heart-centered awareness that you have of the past and things that you have put down and let go of, that's where the light can now enter because you've put them down, Taurus. That's where the light can now enter. Do you feel the beauty on that? Because I do. I feel that for you completely. This is a chakra deck here. Spirit, can I please get some messages for Taurus, please? For my Taurians. Sorry. Grounding, and there was throat energy that came out first, but then grounding came out. So what I'll do, the way that I'm seeing this is, grounding is going to be really important, and is how you're going to be able to both hear messages and speak your truths. So I'm going to say grounding first. So grounding, I am anchored into my physical existence and resonate in perfect harmony with the physical world. I am of the earth as I am of heaven. I root down and yield to the world around me, going with the flow. Interesting that it's a grounding though, right? I connect with the life-giving energies of the earth and lovingly release lower vibrations to Gaia to be transformed. I am earthed. And then we also have the throat center energy here. We are all children of conditioning. Let go of the oughts, shoulds, and judgments that inhibit you. Speak wisely, speak gently, speak consciously, but find your truth and express yourself. What you have to say is important. You are an expression of the divine. I think that these processes are not, it's not that they're for naught, but I think that they are not, they're not the same without these expressions of what we really want, Taurus. So I feel like you're becoming more aware of what you want, and there's this fearlessness. I'm almost getting this feeling of being on a swing, and you're kicking your legs in the air to get momentum, and then you come back down and you're like doing it again and again and again. You're going higher, and then when I was a kid, I used to do that, and because I have prominent Gemini in my chart. Why wouldn't I do this? But you go as high as you can, and then you jump out of the swing. It is a miracle that I did not break any ankles when I was younger, but I didn't. It would always be like landing softly on the grass, right? But it was like seeing how much air you could get and that freedom of flying through the air, like well over 6 feet in the air. It was just such oh, and I see the bird here. I didn't see that before. The hummingbird. So it's almost like there's a way that this makes you feel like you're soaring, like you're flying. Like this release, this just spreading your wings. Taurus, this is really beautiful. Spirit, can I please get some more messages for my Taurians for this creative forecast, please? Freedom. I release all tears, sadness, and the attachment to closing up and playing small in order to allow my throat to open fully. I open my throat and allow myself to breathe, sing, laugh, and cry. My voice is an instrument through which I heal myself and others. Yeah, it's in this here is precisely so on the on the path where your manifestations were coming through these different filters first in order for you to understand them, right? Like they were coming through the filters of like what everyone would think and how they would react and what you think and all your worries, right? So this is where it's like releasing and opening your throat to allow yourself to breathe, sing, laugh, and to cry, to feel the full spectrum of your emotion, because that is the most full articulation of your heart center and your heart space, and this grounding energy as well. Like all of our energy centers are affected when the big three, solar plexus, sacral, and root, are out of balance. So this is needing to ground these energies so that you stay in balance. And I think this is letting your light shine, is keeping you in that root center. So reminders that you're safe when you're doing things, reminders that you trust yourself, reminders like this, my Taurians, are just so profound for you right now. And I'm going to pull from the Miracles Now deck just some final messages for my Taurians. Thank you so much, Spirit. In a very unfortunate twist of fate, I have the song Let It Go from Frozen stuck in my head. Oh no. It only took me how many years to get it out? Now I gotta talk about Bruno and all those stuff. No, I'm kidding. I'm getting that I don't even know. I just heard the words in my mind, like the hook of a song, and how catchy tunes can be, and just what tune have you been singing relative to your beliefs, right? Like what tune are you singing? Dancing to the beat of a drummer. Like what beat are you dancing to? What beat are you marching to? And being aware of that. Could also just be that grounding, like if you ground through dance and music, it's making sure that the music is uplifting and not something that's taking away from your energy. I release my need to be perfect and I center it into my commitment to serve the world more love. Yeah, it's a little Virgo energy. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But I think it applies to everybody. So I release my need to be perfect and I center into my commitment to serve the world more love. All we need to do at any point in time is to engage in this process day by day, number one. Number two is to make that commitment, right? To make that commitment to ourselves. And I think that you shining your light, you let your light shine. You, even when you're in this place where like all you hear, it's like hearing the Lego pieces shaking because the creation hasn't formed itself yet. All you hear are the pieces of things coming together, but you don't really have the form yet because you still have to, you're building it. All that you really need to do to light the path for yourself is to let the light of your own wisdom shine from outside of you. And wisdom is just your heart center being open. But I feel like that's how you're serving the world more love every day. Brilliant. In order to awaken the world to the light, I must not be afraid to shine. Lots of shining we're doing, Taurus. So if you have Taurus in your north or south node, this reading could absolutely be for you, because this is like shining the light. I'm getting mission, path, that kind of thing. A lot of that right now. Serve the world more love. There's like I must not be afraid to shine. I think this is about speaking your truths, grounding energy, but also being unafraid of going towards what's most important to you, Taurus. So what is most important to you? What do you value? That way, when you meet people on the path, it's not a matter of like shaking Lego pieces as though 4242 was just on the time. Shaking Lego pieces as a way to like find people in the dark. When you're shining your light, you're going to find them in the light. You don't have to say, here are all of my unassembled pieces. I'm making all of this noise. Like this is my little piggy bank with change that I have from like the car and all of that. And you're not like shaking it and you're like trying to like, hello, Marco, Polo. Like you're not like, right? Like trying to catch people's attention. This isn't Lego. It's just a minor change. I just don't like things being bleh everywhere. So I keep it in a little piggy bank that I got. Anyways. But it's like that shaking. I wanted to do the shaking so you could hear what I was hearing or thereabouts, right? don't shake coins as a way to attract people. That strikes me as decidedly low vibration. But what I'm saying here is like, don't, when you approach other people, when you approach other people from that place of shining your light, you're not needing to shake these Lego pieces and have that be like the mating call, as it were. Ooh, that's weird. You're not needing for that to be the way that you're calling people in. You're calling people in because you're connected to what's most important to you, and that is bringing in the right people to you, because you're bringing people in in a place of light, in a place of high vibration. So Taurus, this was your reading. If it resonated, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you on the channel, and I greatly appreciate your time and your eyes, and well, your time and your energy, let's say, because some people will listen to this as opposed to seeing it, and that's fine. So I appreciate your energy here. There are other ways to connect with me on the channel, so please do that if you feel so inclined. But if this is where we leave it, Taurus, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night, wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum. Thanks so much. Okay, bye.